Hello, everybody. This is me, Amin,
And this Alex.
and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About. In this episode, it's part of our ongoing coverage of the National Immunization Program that is part of our battle against COVID-19. I think we've covered a lot when it comes to what's been reported with regards to COVID-19 and also what's been reported with regards to the COVID-19 National Immunization Program, just to help you guys get better info, get more precise info, and become less confused, and you know what needs to be done. So in this week's episode, something interesting happened. I think now is the 6th of May. Was it a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week that they announced the change?
Last week.
Okay, last week. So Alex just got back from his COVID vaccination jab last night, and what is interesting is because so if you remember the National Immunization Program, the government has put out like a schedule. We're going to receive about 5 different types of vaccines in the country to be able to cover about 80% of the population, to make sure that we're able to have herd immunity against COVID-19. In the among the vaccines that are made available to Malaysians, there's one interesting one that's called AstraZeneca. So among the 5, we have 2 coming from China, 1 coming from Russia, and 1 coming from the States, and 1 coming from the United Kingdom. So AstraZeneca is from the United Kingdom. And the change from what has been done in the National Immunization Program earlier was that, so previously you can't choose the vaccine, and previously you have to follow the queue. That means if you're in phase 1, which is frontliners, you'll get the vaccination. You'll get your dose first. After that, it's phase 2, that is for senior citizens and for those who have non-communicable diseases like diabetes, asthma, heart disease, and things like that. And then after that, for normal people, that's in phase 3. So phase 3 is basically like Alex and myself, relatively healthy, no problems, no diseases. So you wait until phase 3. So what has happened is that the government made an announcement last week to say that did they explain the concerns? They didn't explain the concerns, right? They just made an announcement to say that for those who want for those who are okay to take the AstraZeneca vaccine, you can do so, and we will make it available for you by a certain date. All you need to do is just we'll open like a booking window, and all you have to do is just go in and book all the slots. So when that happened, I think it raised a lot of concerns on our side, because I think one of the motivations why the government decided to open up bookings for AstraZeneca and kind of like made a U-turn with regards to their decisions from the start, which is you cannot choose, you have to follow the phases and things like that, is this word, vaccine hesitancy. So AstraZeneca has like it has, I don't want to say it has been infamous, but it has kind of like a reputation lah.
I think let's start from the beginning. So this whole concern started sometime in February and March. So there were reports of people having blood clots in Europe. So AstraZeneca has been widely used in Europe, and that also concerns us Malaysians as well. So before the AstraZeneca vaccines arrived, there's a lot of questions about, are we going to use AstraZeneca vaccines? Is it safe and all that? So those are valid concerns. And as a result, as you know, if you follow the news, several European countries have paused the vaccination. So pause, just to make it clear, doesn't mean they reject. They just want to stop for a while. Let's study the data. Does it really cause blood clots? So the EMA, which is the European Medicines Agency, they found that the blood clots are not directly linked. It's possible, but not directly linked to the vaccines, and the risks are very low. So overall, the AstraZeneca vaccines, the benefit of it still outweighs the possible risk. And what they found is that the risk of blood clot is 1 in 100,000 in general. And it's generally safer for older people. So if you're age 80 and above, the data shows that the case of blood clot is 4 out of 1 million. So very, very low. So from there, the government, once the AstraZeneca vaccines arrived, the government decided, okay, you know what, we hear you. We know there's these concerns about the blood clot issue. So based on the data, the lowest risk is for older people. So they offer AstraZeneca in the immunization program for people aged 60 and above.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's say if you got chosen in immunization program, if you're younger, you won't get AstraZeneca. It's only for older people because data has proven that the risk is much lower.
So at first they slated it for the
Mainstream.
older generation, so the 60-year-old and above,
Yes.
right? So to ensure that there is no worry or concerns, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then after that,
So after that, the JKJV, so basically the committee that's in charge of the immunization coordination, they found that a lot of people are cancelling their appointments. So that's shows a concern, like why are people cancelling? And cancelling is one thing. And they have a concern that what if people don't turn up at all? So
Yep.
that's a huge concern. And you don't want to waste the vaccines because once you open the vaccines, they only have a lifespan of a few hours. If you don't use it, it's going to waste.
not open. I mean, once you take it out from the fridge,
Yeah,
the
correct.
freezer.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
It's going to waste. And we don't want to have this issue of vaccine hesitancy because not everyone's going to get AstraZeneca because you have a chance of Sinovac and Pfizer as well.
Yep.
So we don't want them to be afraid. So after much deliberation, they think, you know what? There's actually three options for them to consider. Number one is push forward, just go proceed with it. Let's push
Get
ahead
as
with-
many people vaccinated as possible.
Just push plan.
Ignore
the naysayers.
the concerns or the voices of people saying that, I don't want to take AstraZeneca.
Yep.
And just go for it.
Just go
So
for it.
That's option one.
That's right, which has a possible risk of people not turning up.
Yep.
Option two is we reject AstraZeneca completely. Send it back to UK. Don't use at all.
Okay.
But that concern is that we have less dosage.
So both possibilities, 1 and 2, has this effect of slowing down the rate of people getting vaccinations.
Yep.
And as it is, I think KJ had put out a target of like 160,000
In a day.
people doses in a day. I don't know what the numbers are right now, but I think we're still far behind with regards to the doses administered, and we're also far behind with regards to people who are registering. I think we also talked about this in our previous episodes where we don't know where the numbers are dropping. We don't know whether it's a system problem or whether it's a people problem. But in the AstraZeneca case, we know that most likely it is a people problem because there's like a reputation that this type of COVID vaccine is not safe. So then there's a third scenario, right?
Yeah, so eventually we came to this third scenario, which is quite a bold move. It's quite a gamble as well. Is by, you know what? Who wants it? Open up. It's
Open season.
Open season, like flash sale, we're going to open the slots, book your slot and get it. So it can turn up two ways. Number one,
everybody goes like, what the hell, man? This is even more scary because the government is like dumping AstraZeneca stocks. Who wants it? Take it. If not, we're just gonna throw it away. So it raises. So we were discussing about it in the office when the announcement was made. Could this cause a reverse effect? Like, could it
Create
make it
more-
even worse, right?
Yes.
And create even more vaccine hesitancy? Because we talked about at the high level of communication, let's say we're level 0, where we read all the news report, we understand all the things that's going on, we do all the research, and we go I understand why this is done. If you go down to the communication layer level 10, which is like people on the street or people in the rural areas, it opens up like an opportunity for people who just have an agenda to go out and say, oh, you know why AstraZeneca is not being used? Because vaccines in general are not safe. It's very easy for people to get lost in that translation. And it's very easy to create even more widespread hesitancy.
correct. And for example, some people will say, hey, isn't it, initially you said that's only safe for 16 and above. Why are you opening out to everyone,
Yeah,
including age
yeah.
18 and above?
What's up, right?
What's up?
Yeah.
Are you just dumping it?
Are you hiding something?
Yeah. And of course, that raises concern. So it can go two ways. One, it could be nobody wants to take it up. So
Yeah.
that's going to be a disaster for AstraZeneca. Nobody's going to take it. Or number two is the response is pretty good.
Yeah.
And, that shows that, people have confidence.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be two things, right? Because Malaysians lah, us lah. When there's a free thing that you can get, when there's a deal, right? Doesn't matter. We throw everything out the window.
Yeah.
We throw our health and everything out the window. If there's for example, a PS5, right? Or even in the middle of a pandemic, right? I don't care. I'm just gonna line up.
iPhone. Oh,
I don't care. I'm just gonna
new
line
phone.
up.
Yes.
Yeah, free food. I don't care. I'm just gonna line up. Bazaars. I don't care. I'm just gonna. Social distancing. What's that? COVID. What's that? Blood clot.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
So I think this plays to that. I don't know. It's either the people who are running the program are super smart or their gamble paid off, because right after the announcement, I think the reception for the AstraZeneca free for all offer was overwhelmingly positive.
Yep.
Do you agree on that?
I agree with that. So it took less than 4 hours, about 3 hours, 20 minutes for everything to be fully booked.
Yes.
And I think it could be faster if the site didn't have problems.
Yeah, the system didn't fail. So okay, so it's all good problems. So when the booking opened, when did the booking open?
On Sunday, 2nd of May at 12 p.m.
Okay, so when the booking opened, the site crashed.
You don't see the booking slots.
All the booking slots were filled up.
Looks like
apparently,
filled, yeah.
You weren't able to select. But kudos to the team. I know we've been super hypercritical about the COVID task force. We've been hypercritical about KJ personally. I have to say kudos to the team. They had tons of problems. I think a lot of us. I think over 60% of the Sorry Chinchou team signed up for the COVID, AstraZeneca vaccination, and all of us had problems, and all of us were like screaming and like, what the hell is going on? But throughout the day, it got fixed. And even I myself, because I was late off the line, I was doing something and I couldn't like be in front of the computer. I think I booked a couple of hours later, and even I got a slot. So and it was easy. I have to like really hand it to the team. Kudos for a job well done. And you guys, your gamble paid off. People stopped talking about blood clots. I think there were still noises, but I think the positivity and the celebratory thing about getting a COVID vaccine jab trumps everything else in terms of the what's going on in terms of the conversation on social media. Yesterday also was the first day, 5th of May, and a hashtag was trending. Was it poke my?
No, close but not exactly. It's chuchok my AZ.
So okay, so it's a nice, smart play on words, and it was trending, and people were having fun. I guess for me, I can't remember when, but this is the first time I think people were like I wanted to say pants down, but people were like tie down, like button down when it comes to talking about COVID-19 vaccinations. They were. Yeah, of course, there are going to be naysayers and stuff like that, but I think the positivity trumps everything else. How was it from your perspective when you wanted to make the booking and everything?
Like I think like I shared the view of everyone. So at 12 o'clock at noon, right, I log in, then the site couldn't work, and it looks like the whole slots are booked up. Like, how is it possible to finish 268,000 doses
Scam
in 1 minute?
Penipu scammer,
Right?
Yeah.
You know that feeling when you couldn't secure?
Yeah, it's like you go on Shopee, you want to get something, right? It's
One
like,
ringgit, yeah.
And you're there ready to go, and when the thing opens, you click it and it's sold out.
Sold
it's
out.
Like, how is that even possible?
Yeah.
And we know it's a scam, lah, right?
Yeah.
So it didn't start well.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think everyone struggled, and then people refresh. I think after like 10-20 minutes, then you start seeing that, oh, it's not fully booked. The slots are there. So that's one part. So when you try to select a slot and you try to book, nothing works. Like, I cannot get through. So everyone got frustrated again.
Yeah.
And I think I got my slot around 12:30
Yeah.
when my first slot on 5th of May at PWTC was secured. Yeah.
Oh, you got your first slot. So I got it on the 18th of May, PWTC as well. Some people told me, I got some accounts saying, I don't know, maybe for the next phase of bookings that's gonna open next week.
Yep.
Some people shared with me that if you change the language, your booking might be faster. So if you change, because there's 3 languages you can choose. I think it's or 5 or 4. There's BM, English, Chinese, and Tamil. You can choose. So if you change the language, it might be faster. Also, they say I cannot verify that.
It's by sheer, and also another theory is that choose other centers, it might work better. Because I think there was some system problem with the system. Like initially, right, you see a World Trade Center being snapped up quickly, but the rest are not moving. Like, hey, what's going on with UKM? And I think eventually they solved the problem. Then you can see UKM, being snapped up very quickly.
Yeah. So, credit where credit is due. This part of the show we wanted to talk about, like, before. This was our experience. So before, when the announcement was made, we were all flipping tables and we were like, we're not sure whether this is the right course of action, whether this will add more in terms of COVID vaccine hesitancy, or whether it will reduce it. And then after that, and we didn't see the light, But after the dust has settled, when the announcement was made, I think after we all discussed in the office, it was like, okay, you know what? We asked around, like, okay, are we going for it? Yeah, we're going for it, because we read the data, and there's actually no link
proven link.
No proven link to the blood clots. Because I was actually quite worried. I mean, like, because blood clots are a dangerous thing, man. It can cause stroke, and it can kill you.
Yep. And if you look at the stats, right, the risk is very low. I mean, anything you do in life, right, there's always going to be
always
risk.
risk, yes.
Yeah. And you want to talk about blood clots, right? If you get COVID, the risk of getting blood clot is 10
It's
times
higher,
higher.
yes.
If you're smoking, definitely higher.
Yes.
And if you look at other comparisons like getting in a car crash and all that, the chance of you dying in a car crash is higher than having any major side effects from the AstraZeneca vaccine.
But okay, if you put it that way, so let's say I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here, right? So I'm gonna be the anti-vaxxer and say, the chances of dying of COVID is also less than the chance of dying in a car crash.
Yeah, true. In Malaysia, at
And
least.
we did the numbers, right?
Yeah,
so
last year 10 times.
people die more on the roads than than when they contract COVID. But that's besides the point. The thing is, people die. Yes, that's a loss, but they don't take a toll on the healthcare system. If more and more people have COVID, it takes a toll on the healthcare system, and what we want to avoid is the healthcare system collapsing. And you have a situation that you see now in India, where about 400,000 people a day get COVID.
Yeah, and imagine like how many people can you hospitalize, and you get to choose like, okay, who do I save?
Yeah,
Like even Malaysia, back to home, right now we have more than 30,000 active cases.
active cases. Yes.
Yeah, and in several states, right, they already sound the alarms that, our medical system, our beds are full.
It's full capacity. The beds are fine because okay, I'm not to say I don't want to say it's fine. Beds are not as bad as reports coming in saying that ICU wards are full in Malaysia. So I heard reports that some ICU wards in hospitals in the country are full up. So I mean, that's the dire situation. But I guess what back to my point, what I'm trying to say is that all of us, not all of us, I guess most of us in the office were very skeptical about the announcement. All of us were very skeptical about the system because from our previous experiences, it didn't work. Data syncing was a problem. There's multiple databases and all that. And I guess the JKAV people, KJ and his team proved us wrong.
Yep, they managed to sort it out in less than half an hour. Then eventually, everyone managed to book their slots in 3 hours and a half.
So credit where credit due. Well done, everybody. Well done, KJ, for doing that. And then we come to yesterday. Alex got his first dose.
Yep.
So how was the experience?
So going back to the confirmation, so after you book your slot, you get updated in terms of MySejahtera. So you receive a notification. I got a push notification. They asked me to check MySejahtera.
Yeah.
And then you go in, you can see that, okay, this is your first dose appointment. So you need to confirm your appointment first. That's to secure a slot. Then after that, I think the day before the actual day, I got an SMS to remind me, okay, tomorrow's your appointment at this time, 9:30 at World Trade Center, KL, be there and all that. So, okay, fine. Then on the day itself, I went there 9:30 after work. Here's the thing I want to highlight. So even though, let's say if your slot is 9:30, right? Be there earlier, half an hour earlier. Because when I went there, I just realized that the last call for the slot is 30 minutes before. So you have to be there early. Don't go there on time like 9:30. Be there half an hour earlier.
Or don't go at 9:35. This is not your normal
Malaysian
hospital
time.
booking or whatever. Okay, you missed the slot, man. And I think the process there, if you miss the slot, they're just gonna open it up to anybody that's there, right?
That's towards the end. So reminder, please be there at least half an hour earlier because anything can happen. Cannot find parking or jam or whatever. So be there early as possible. So that make it easy for everyone so that you can have a smooth vaccination process.
Yeah.
Quite straightforward. So first, when you reach the location, you need to show your MySejahtera app to show that you have an appointment. You can bring one companion if you're elderly, if you need assistance. But you cannot bring like a friend just for fun. No, you must. Let's say you need someone to push your wheelchair.
Does it have to be related, like that companion?
Not necessarily. But I think because I saw one of the handlers say that, this is only for people who really need assistance.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's say if your parents, you want to accommodate parents, you can. Only one person.
Yeah, not your Instagram husbands or people to hold your bag or people to take pictures. Because I noticed that yesterday, a lot of people made an event out of it. A lot of people were sharing on Instagram, sharing on social media that, they finally got the dosage, and they were sharing their experience and comments. of the whole first day event, and I went through not all of it. I went through the conversations online. Generally, again, very positive.
And so the whole process is quite seamless. I think you can go in and out within 45 minutes. So after you check in, you're sent to like a waiting room to wait for your turn. Then after that, the next process to go to fill up a form. So you don't need to bring anything else except your IC and your smartphone with message, etc. The forms will be provided. So don't need to print it out. So they give you 2 copies to sign because one is for your keeping, one's for them. So the form basically to declare that you don't have any serious allergy, to declare that you're not breastfeeding or all that. There's 4 questions and you just need to sign to give your consent.
Okay.
Then next will be the verification. So you need to scan your MySejahtera on a QR code on the table, and then they'll fill up more details like what's your occupation, and do you have any illnesses and all that.
Why do they need my occupation detail?
I think just to fill up more information, I guess. Yeah. So anyway, after that is the consultation with the doctor. So the doctor asks you, do you have any allergies? You have any issues and all that.
Yep.
So once that's done, then the doctor will chop. Okay, this guy's good to go. Then you proceed to the vaccination area. And that process is very quick. I think you can get a jab within 30 seconds. Just go in there. They ask you, okay, left hand. Are you left-handed or right-handed? Then they'll jab at the other opposite hand. Opposite hand.
Yeah.
And it's very quick. Jab. And then put a sticker on it.
Put a stick.
The sticker, like a handy plus with the cotton thing, whatever you call it. And that's it. You're done. Yeah.
Did it hurt? Was it like
no? It's like a mosquito bite.
Extra from any other jabs that you get?
No, I think
it's a prick.
It's like a prick, like a mosquito bite. It's very quick. I think maybe 2 seconds or less. It feels very, very instant. Like don't feel anything.
Okay, so now a day after, how do you feel? Is there like a bruise on your shoulder or whatever on your arm?
I don't see any bruise, but after injecting, I can feel a bit sore on my arm.
Maybe it's just a mind thing.
No, it feels sore. Even until now, it feels a bit sore. If I squeeze it, I can feel it's a bit sore. And today I feel a bit not so. I will feel a bit tired lah. Not my full self. Yeah. But
that's expected, right?
That's expected because if you have fever, it's common to have fevers after vaccination. That shows that your body is working towards it to build immunity.
Did the doctor say anything about side effects to you, or did they give any like cautionary, like, okay, you know what, this is gonna do this, whatever, or I mean, how was the experience like? Okay, because again, we're the layer 1. We know, okay, we're just gonna go there. Okay, just poke my arm. I'm done. I'm not gonna ask any questions. But if people who have a lot of questions, is there like an information counter there that they can ask questions, or is the doctor attentive, or is just like okay, done, boom, boom, boom?
I see a lot of people walking around. I think because I see people asking questions as well. So there are people that are attending to inquiries. And also if you have any questions, like for example, can you take shower after getting vaccinated, or can you drink alcohol after vaccinated? You can ask the doctor because during the consultation period, that's where you can raise all your concerns.
And the doctor wasn't like rushing you, or was like, okay, hello, how are you? Sit down.
Yeah, and World Trade Center is a pretty good venue. I mean, it's like it's World Trade Center, so it's pretty posh. And then the doctors are very friendly. They're very helpful. They answer any concerns that you may have. Yeah. So after getting the jab, is the last part. That's observation. So after you get the jab, you need to submit your form to the counter, and then they'll call your name up after 30 minutes. Okay. So the observation is to see if there's any immediate side effects. Like they ask you 30 minutes later, are you having any headache or any rashes or whatever? If you're fine, then okay, you're good to go, you can go home. Okay. And then they'll also explain to you what are the possible side effects.
Oh, only after the shot.
You can ask before because they want to highlight when you should ask for medical assistance.
Okay.
Because if let's say a fever and all that is fine, that's normal. But if let's say you have like a chest pain, difficulty breathing, or that's serious, then you need to have medical attention.
So what did they say? I mean, like, what did they say specifically? Like, is that what they say?
They say a lot of things, but so basically, if any serious effects, please go seek medical attention and report in MySejahtera app. Go see a doctor.
So they're not specific on what the serious effects are. It could be anything.
They did say like shortness of breath, chest pain, constant headache or prolonged migraine. Even though you take medicines, it still doesn't go away. Then you need medical treatment.
Did they give you like any medicine?
No, of course not. Yeah.
So you were there for like 45 minutes?
Around 45 minutes.
Were there like a lot of people?
Because I'm on the last slot, so I'm the last batch. I don't see many people. I know people who go earlier. There's a lot of people because you have people in your previous batch and the next batch. Yeah. Some people just go there extra early because they don't want to, to be late. Yeah. So I guess
That's pretty much it on our side. Is there anything you want to add? I mean, for me, my point that I wanted to make on this show is like I say, fair enough. I have been very critical, as with anything. I've been very critical of what the government does and what people do for the public interest. And I think in my last episode, I did say, prove us wrong, and I did say come out and show what you can do, and I have to say, well done.
Yeah.
That's my point. So I wanted to just share the story. It's like when the announcement was made, we were all skeptical. And then after that, when the system went up, we were all again very very frustrated because the system had a lot of problems. But at the end of the day, everybody that wanted to get AstraZeneca in the office got their booking slots. And validation is when Alex went there, and when we saw all the conversations on social media, everything was smooth running. So that's my point. Well done. They saw the problem, they fixed it. They made a huge gamble on having this open season concept. I think there were a number of people who are staunch critics of this approach. I think for me at least, I don't know about them, but for me at least, I wasn't a critic, but I was skeptical. I'm no more skeptic. I'm no more skeptic of this approach. I think this has kind of significantly dampened down the conversations with regard to vaccine hesitation, with any fake news, with any issues with regards to the vaccine is not safe or whatever. I think this has put a huge step forward for people to get vaccinated. I think if there's anything, if KJ and the JKJAV team is watching, my request is for you to put out a data after the vaccination has been done to show the age group, the demographics.
Yeah, that'd be good. And also nationality, because I saw there are foreigners there as well.
Yes, so that you can use that data to say to not to fire back to the naysayers, but the data is useful for us to tell people okay, if we're having conversations in the mama or during Hari Raya and people are saying, it's only good for old people, then we have the data to say, no, from the first batch, we can see that younger people are the most eager to go. And then we can spin that to say that, they are brave, they don't mind. The data can tell us that, a lot of people want to go back to normalcy, and a vaccine is better than no vaccine. I want to say no matter what the risk, but, I think risk is like you said, Alex, everything has a risk. And I think this is less of a risk than you walking or
driving
or riding bicycle on a normal day.
And I also want to emphasize that, please turn up in your appointment. Please be there early, because you don't want to waste the vaccines. If you can't make it, please cancel the appointment.
How do you cancel?
Right now, you can't do it in MySejahtera.
You got to call in.
You got to call in number, call at 1-800-888-828 to cancel. Because if you cancel it, they know how many people are turning up, and they can give that to someone else.
Yeah,
because
they can.
because there's a waiting list. So I want to talk a bit more about how to avoid wastage. So let's say if you cancel, it's just responsible of you, so that they know who's not turning up. So what they do is they will actually contact the waiting list people. They say, hey, there's available vaccines for you. So what they do is what I'm told is that they'll inform them in the morning, ask you whether you can turn up in the evening, because that's when everything is mostly done. So that's how they give your vaccine to someone else. And if, let's say, no many people showing up, they spare doses, they're going to find anyone they can find to give the jab, because once you take it out, they need to finish the vaccine doses within 4 or 5 hours. So that's how they avoid wastage. They give it to volunteers or whoever's nearby at the vaccination center. Yeah,
that's a good point. And I also want to add on to say that, guys, be responsible. I know this slot is free. I know the vaccination is free. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just enter your detail and just go there. There's no what's the word I'm looking for? There's no investment on your side to just make the clicks and confirm your booking, and it's super easy. So it's very easy for you to just go I don't feel like taking it today, or it's just suka lah, I got a slot, okay, never mind, cool, Don't do that, because I know for a fact that there are people out there who really, really, really want the slots, and they can't have it because it's all fully booked. So if you're hesitant and you're 50-50, you know what? Don't waste that slot.
Yeah,
give it to somebody else.
Yeah, please cancel.
Yeah, give it to somebody who's 100% in. Okay? All right. Anything else you want to add, Alex?
Based on latest update, this opt-in program for AstraZeneca will be open to more locations, and the details will be revealed next week.
Yeah, so get your slots, guys. Don't lose out.
Next flash sale.
Yeah, this is a really good opportunity to get the vaccine. All right, it's time for us to respond to some of the comments that were given in the previous Let's Talk About episode. So I have a comment from NT, and he says, "Thanks for raising these implementation issues. No wonder no news after having registered from the opening of the registration." So thanks for the comment, and we are so happy that the show has been informative for you guys. He is also, of course, referring to our last episode of Let's Talk About, where we talk about the National Immunization Program and whether the program is on track or not. So in that episode, and like we said in this show, the program is not on track, and even I think KJ also has kind of mentioned that the immunization program might be delayed
for phase 3.
Yeah, but he says that it's because of
Vaccine supply.
he says it's because of vaccine supply, but I think there's a lot of other underlying issues. Number one is registration, the registration for the vaccination program itself. But NT, thank you very much for your comment. Okay, Alex, the next one. So Alex is reading a comment from Keith Tan. Okay, let me read that. Thanks for the information. I have a question. How do I know if I am in the database or if I am registered? If the appointment status says pending after I typed in my IC and phone number, does that mean I am in? Okay, what's the answer?
Okay, to check whether you're in the system, number one, you can use MySejahtera. But like we discussed in the previous episode, I think the best way to check is through the website, vaccinecovid.gov.my, and see if your name's in the list.
Yeah.
So that's the most assured way from what we experienced. And also, the pending thing is basically, doesn't mean that they're not looking to it. They are looking to it. So in the MySejahtera app, you'll probably see like a check called under assessment. That will be enabled once they send out the notification of the appointment. So you will see a different color 2 weeks before appointment. So hang on there.
Okay, Keith. Also, I just want to add from my own experience. So I signed up with my MySejahtera using my email address, and the system doesn't take that as a valid data point. So when I checked with the JKJAV website, the COVID what's it called again? Vaccinecovid.gov.my. My data wasn't there, so I called up the 1-800 number, and they said that I have to fix my data on MySejahtera. But with my problem is I can't change my email address to my phone number. I can't do that on MySejahtera, at least not for now. So what I did was I re-registered again on the website, and then after that it seems to have sorted itself out. So I re-registered using my phone number. So if you're having that problem, my advice to you is to re-register on the Vaccine COVID website using your phone number. Hopefully that will help. Okay, one last question. This is from Yat Kai. His question is, my dad is 66 years old and I registered for him since the day the registration starts. But till now, it's still under assessment.
So basically, that still means that your dad's still in the queue. The assessment part will be checked 2 weeks before the appointment. Right now, like we mentioned, the vaccination rate is a bit slow because it all depends on the vaccine supply, and the vaccines are still trickling in. And hopefully, when millions of doses come on a monthly basis from next month onwards, your dad will be on the list. Or alternatively, if the AstraZeneca opt-in process is available again, you can try that, and you can get the shot almost immediately.
Yeah, you can cut the queue and get the AstraZeneca dosage. We're doing it, so I think it's fine. Don't worry about it so much. Okay, that's pretty much it. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I just want to remind everybody, if you are interested to listen to the show on a podcast version, we are available on all of your favorite podcast platforms. Just search for Surgeon Child Let's Talk About, and we're there. If you're listening to us on podcast, please do give us a 5-star rating if you enjoy the show, because that helps us helps the show grow to even more audiences in the podcast realm. If you're watching us on YouTube, thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoy the show and as it has been informative for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, suggestions on topics you'd like us to cover, if you have people you want us to bring on the show, let us know. We'll try and do that for you. And yeah, because your comments and your suggestions make this show better, and we thank you for that. All right, guys. So thanks very much for watching. And that's pretty much it. Catch you guys later.
Bye.